Bang, bang, bang. We are back with it again with the top centers tier list in 2K22 MyTeam. So if you're excited, that like button down below, as well as comment what you guys think of the tier list. Would you move any guys up and you guys down? Hit that subscribe button as well if you're new to the channel. And without further ado, we have a message from the sponsor of today's video. Quickly first, if you need your unlimited 12-0 domination Evo cards, level 40, or even more grinded contact Rose NBA on Twitter, link is in the description. And now that we got that out of the way, we can start with how we do every single time. I'll show you guys the nothing special tier, and then, I've been doing it recently. I'll show you the still decent tier as well. It allows me to put more thought into the top three tiers. So here we go, everybody that we have. In the bottom, we have a lot of emeralds here. In Marquise, Chris, John Henson, Joel Embiid, Ivica Zubac. I don't know, probably messed it up a little bit. Bill Russell, Andrew Bogut, Andre Drummond, and Onyeka Okongwu. Alright, so to sum up these guys, Marquise Chris, John Henson, Joel Embiid, like, yeah, they're good, but just nothing special. Zubac, Bill Russell, and Andrew Bogut are all just kind of like slow defensive centers that really don't play too well. I went against this Bill Russell in the draft mode, and I can tell you it was probably the easiest box of my life. Andre Drummond, and then there's Onyeka Okongwu, who's just, again, like a defensive guy. A lot of these guys just play defense. They really don't give you anything on offense. I just don't think it's too worth it because they're really not even that good on defense. Like, they play defense for you, but it's really not anything too special. So to me personally, I just don't think that they're really worth running, but that's just, I don't know, my opinion at least. And then I'll show you guys the still decent here really quick. We have it right here. Oh, there's three more. My bad. So, you can see here we have Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Wilt Chamberlain, Wendell Carter Jr., Vin Baker, Stacey King, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, George Miken, Dikembe Mutombo, Dan Issel, Bryant Reeves, Bill Walton, and Matt Bonner. So what makes these guys so not special? Zydrunas Ilgauskas is actually, I think, it'd be pretty decent once we get future versions of his card, but right now, yeah, he just has a midi. He's way too slow. I just don't really feel like he's that amazing. Personal opinion, you may differ, but it's all good. I just don't recommend running him too much. Will Chamberlain, again, one of those defensive guys, but it's pretty good in the post and finishing, so I decided to throw him into still decent. Wendell Carter Jr., I don't know, I was actually pretty excited for this Ruby, and I just didn't really feel like he's holding up to expectations. So while I'm a little bit disappointed with him, maybe you want to throw him up a little bit. That's perfectly fine, up to you. Vin Baker, again, pretty good slasher, pretty good post guy, but I just wasn't really impressed. I had to do his XP challenges, and he just really wasn't feeling amazing for me. Maybe you had a different experience. That's right. If you want to, we can move him up to pretty damn solid. I just like the guys we had up there better. Stacey King, again, kind of like the another version of Sapphire Wilt Chamberlain, at least to me. Good, but, just decent. We have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up next, who is, honestly, for a Sapphire, one of the better post guys in the game, and it's kind of crazy. You can kind of ISO anybody with this Kareem, and he feels like an absolute god in the post, which is kind of crazy. Defense is alright, but doesn't really have the badges, obviously, because he's a Sapphire, to back up anything else really in there. So he's good, but nothing crazy. George Miken, they decided to only give a mid-range, which, if I'm being honest, is probably more realistic to the 40s and 50s George Miken. But it is what it is. Like, he's a good card. He can rebound. He can shoot. He's alright. But again, nothing crazy. Ruby Dikembe Mutombo, you know what you're getting out of him. Dikembe usually is just a post guy or a post hook guy who can play goddamn good defense. That is exactly what this Ruby Dikembe Mutombo is. Good, but yeah, shit. Dan Issel is basically like a worse version of Kevin Love that can only play the center. So really, what are you too excited about? Bryant Reeves, people only use you because there's a John Morant duo, and after that, he's actually pretty decent, not gonna lie. Bill Walton, I just feel bad putting Bill Walton anything above a still decent list. That's just me. And Matt Bonner just has a really awkward jumper, and I'm not really feeling it when I was using him. Was a pain to evo because I don't know, I couldn't time the shot, and maybe that's on me. Next up is Thiago Splitter, starting off our pretty damn solid tier, and all around, he's actually not bad. Thiago Splitter's actually better than I thought he was. Now, there is a Ruby Token Market card who I do prefer to this Thiago Splitter, and I highly recommend to anybody else. But he does have a mid, he does have some defense, does have some post game, just like all around is a good center. No 3-point shooting, but was actually a lot better than I expected him to be. So not really a bad option if you're on the token market. At least give him a look. Next up are the two Rudy Goberts, the signed and the normal, just signature series one. I've been including both in the list just because some people view them as completely different cards, even though they're really not. But Rudy Gobert gets, I guess, the ranking up here at the very top of the list because this dude is so good defensively that it makes up for the fact that he can only catch lobs and finish wide open dunks or layups. Like, dude, Rudy Gobert does not let anything go up in the paint. If you go against somebody who is actually really skilled at timing their blocks, and even you don't really need to be good at timing, you can just stand there with Rudy Gobert, press triangle, probably get a good few blocks. But if you go against somebody who really knows how to use his Rudy Gobert and doesn't care that his center can't shoot, these guys are two of the most annoying cards to score against. They literally are just defensive demons. Absolutely insane. Next up is Marvin Bagley, one of the best budget cards in the game. I mean, the dude has a bit of a three-point shot, a bit of a midi, a bit of a dunking ability. He can even play make a little bit if you want to. He can rebound, set screens. He can just do everything. For a Sapphire card, I think he's about as well-rounded as you can get, especially for a big man. So highly recommend him. Check him out. You honestly probably will not regret your time at all. This card is an absolute beast. Next up is a Ruby Marc Gasol. You get what you expect out of it. Marc Gasol can play some defense, shoot some threes, and play a little bit in the post. Just a pretty good all-around card. Bit of a terrible jumper, but he's still not bad. And again, as far as, nice little 3-and-D centers go, I think Marc Gasol is one of the better options out there. Next up is Karl Anthony Towns, who I'd say offensively, I would probably rank him in the baby demon or maybe even demon tier. But Karl Anthony Towns can't guard Park Car. This dude, defensively, is probably the worst card I've ever used. I did a gameplay with this cat, and I was absolutely smacking out threes, but what you didn't see in the gameplay was the fact that the dude was getting puffed literally every time, and he just doesn't get blocks, he doesn't play good defense. You could stand up and put your hands up, and they're just going to hook right over you. Like, there's nothing on the defensive end that this Karl Anthony Towns is going to do that is really going to make it feel any different for you, which is a bit tough, because with really good post play right now, this cat is crazy bad. But at least on the offensive end, you can still shoot them threes. He's a great post guy. But again, the defense is just terrible. Alright, next is my man Ruby Chris Kaman, who actually is a lot better than I thought he was. I gave Chris Kaman like bronze clamps, which is kind of crazy. Love a center that can actually play good defense on the perimeter. And he even has a bit of a three-point shot, which is kind of crazy. A good midi, a good post game, even a right playmaker. All around, Chris Kaman, a lot better than I thought he was going to be. I was expecting to have to throw him down into like the still decent tier, but he's actually pretty damn good. So you know what? Go Chris Kaman for not being absolute trash for once. Next up is my man Brook Lopez, usually a pretty good 3-and-D center, but they kind of focus on the rebounding and defense a little bit more this year. It is with the Brook Lopez base, which I absolutely love, but he only has about a 70-shot 3, which I'm not going to lie, this year is actually a good enough 3-point shot to hit pretty damn consistently. So, there is that. You can still be pretty damn good with this Brook Lopez. I just wish he had a few more badges. That's, I think, really was holding him down, at least to me. Next up is Al Horford, who consistently has one of the worst jump shots you've ever seen in 2K history. It just literally is terrible. But aside from that, the one thing about Al Horford every year is that he is versatile as hell. He just usually never has a jumper that allows you to really capitalize on how great his shooting could potentially be. But, it is what it is. Everybody's got their flaws, and that's kind of Horford's one. Or the big one for Al Horford, at least. Next up is my man Nicola Jokic, the starter version. Now, the one thing that you'll notice with Nicola Jokic cards is that jumper's damn slow. I mean, there's not really a time in 2K22 right now with how good defense is and how easy it is to just like close out on shooters where Jokic is really going to get an absolutely wide open jumper because it's just so slow. And it's just awkward at time. Now, in the post and that sort of stuff, he can be pretty good. I do recommend you probably go with his playmaking Evo just because it moves his speed up by like 17 or something total once he's at Ruby, which is damn good. But just all around, I don't know. He's good, but just doesn't feel as good as he probably should, which is kind of upsetting. Next up is Channing Frye, a nice little Evo reward that you can get from, I'm pretty sure, the collector level. And it's pretty nice, man. Channing Frye is always one of those guys who's got a pretty decent jump shot and can, spread the floor a little bit. He's going to lag a little bit on the defensive side because he is a stretch big. That's usually how they at least nerf them in early game. But if you get him out, obviously Evo him up, not too bad of an Evo, and you can have a pretty damn good stretch big out there in Channing Frye. I usually love Channing Frye cards, so kind of excited to eventually get him whenever the hell that I can. And that actually ends up our pretty damn solid tier, obviously, because it is it's quite full. So we start off the baby demon tier, which is starting off with a surprise to myself, Ruby Rick Smits. A jump shot 22, it makes Rick Smits actually feel pretty damn good. And with the changes to like jumper timing and stuff like that, if you guys don't really know the specifics, I won't get into it now. But just know that it's the taller guys have faster jumpers this year than they did previous years, which is always obviously good for the taller guys. Rick Smits is absolutely money from the mid-range, and the dude's 7'4", So his defense feels absolutely insane. There really isn't a moment where a guard who really can shoot over him, and he's so good in the post, and I was trying to guard him with Serge Ibaka, and the dude was just making me pay. If you know what you're doing in the post, this Rick Smits can feel like one of the best cards in the game and can absolutely kill it. He's just super fun. And again, I love the fact that he has a midi because it makes him so much more versatile. Highly recommend Rick Smits, especially because he's a pretty damn cheap Ruby. Next up is the man Nicola Vucevic. This is one of the promo cards that's kind of a struggle to get, but if you do, you know what, run the man, because his defense rebounding, not too bad. His three-point shooting, not too bad. Jumper, kind of terrible, though. But all around, I think as far as the promo cards go, he's pretty damn good. And again, I just love the offensive versatility. I love guys that can play in the post this year because the post is just absolutely amazing. If you haven't tried this year, like, just go into the post with a center and just cook somebody up. It is so easy and just so fun to do. Highly recommend it. Next up is the Diamond Nicola Jokic, who I've actually talked to a lot of different people, and they have said that the Diamond Jokic plays significantly better than the Ruby. And some people are going to be saying, well, obviously it's the Diamond. But the main problem with the Ruby is that his jumper is just terrible. But for some reason on the Diamond, it just feels a little bit better. I don't know why. It could just be the higher ratings on it. And the thing they're going to be lacking with Jokic is defense. And that's for stuff. But he's a big enough player build that I think it'd be okay. And he actually, I don't know, just plays a little bit better defense than maybe like a Karl-Anthony Towns would. So there's that. Jumper's a little bit faster than Cats, but not too much. All around, I still think Jokic is a pretty damn good card. Plus, I'm a fan, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. Next up on our list is Mitchell Robinson, who is just a step up from Rudy Gobert. Has a little bit more offense. Like, the post is actually pretty decent on Mitchell Robinson, and his dunking's absolutely insane. Mitchell is just so easy to catch lobs, but his defense is just superb. I honestly have felt using Mitchell Robinson, although he's not supposed to be, he just feels better defensively than Rudy Gobert. And also, I don't know, I think less people kind of know that Mitchell Robinson can't shoot, so they kind of, I don't know, play a little bit weird on him. But I'm just having an absolutely amazing time. He just sets Miyagi's. It's such a fun card, and defensively he is crazy. The amount of times that Mitchell Robinson just walks out and gets a chase down block that he definitely should not have got, it's just absolutely insane, and I've had such a fun time running him. He's literally still my backup center option occasionally when I don't want to run Pettit there. And it's just absolutely amazing. I absolutely love him. Highly recommend him. He's one of the token market cards that I highly recommend you pick up because, I mean, he's 15 tokens, and he is an absolute god in the paint. He changes up how defense is played, man. And the step up from that, or just, I guess, an equal part just at Diamond, is Mark Eaton. Now, you're not going to get a mid-range on Mark Eaton literally at all, but, I mean, the dude's, again, like 7'4", and he has insane defense. He has a crazy wingspan, and he is swatting literally anything. Going to have amazing post-hook ability and post-game like that. He's super tall, super strong, and literally nobody's going to pup him, which is great. But what you get for absolutely insane defense is absolutely kind of terrible offense outside of the paint. So, you know, there's that. Also, I think Mark Eaton is a recently passed away NBA legend. So, RIP to the man. You are a legend in the game, which is kind of cool. But, again, if you're looking for defense, Mark Eaton's your guy. Next up is my man Dwight Howard, one of the few base set cards that I've said literally all year you could still use and still have fun with. I mean, this Dwight Howard is a menace when it comes to being in the paint. Like, the dude literally dunks on everybody. His post game is crazy. If somebody knows how to play in the post, they're going to cook you with him. His lob game's crazy. His rebounding and his just all around, screen setting ability to get other people open. It's just wild, man. Dwight Howard is a great card, and for an Amethyst base set card, it's kind of crazy how great he plays. If you haven't tried him out, highly recommend it. One of the better centers in the game. Next up is Bob Mcadoo, who, I don't know, I kind of view in similar as Dwight Howard, but I don't know, Mcadoo every single year is kind of like one of those point centers because he's just a little bit quicker, has some playmaking, stuff like that. Still good at the post, still good as a slasher, just all around pretty damn fun, you know? Go Bob Mcadoo. Next up is Pink Diamond Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder, I think is the nickname. One of my favorite nicknames, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cool. But Daryl Dawkins may be the best finishing center in the entire game. But for that, you get not as good of defense and just as good rebounding, but no shooting. Like, literally no shooting whatsoever. So, well, in the post and lobbing and stuff like that, Daryl Dawkins is probably going to be one of the only centers that you literally cannot stop, no matter how hard you try. The second you get him out of the paint, yeah, he's not going to be doing too crazy. But on the defensive end, he's still going to be locking up, still going to be having some fun and getting some boards. So, you know what? Go Chocolate Thunder. And then the last one that we got here is Demarcus Cousins, who I decided to throw up here because he has the potential to be a baby demon once you badge him up. I think normal base set card, I probably would throw him into pretty damn solid tier, but like, Being mainly an offensive center, obviously you don't have as many defensive badges, but the difference is you can't add any defensive badges on like Karl-Anthony Towns, but Demarcus Cousins you can. So I think that kind of, I don't know, gives Boogie at least a little bit of a boost, because I think you can throw like clams and Intimidator and have some fun with it that way. So at least give it a try, and I think you'll enjoy Demarcus Cousins. And then finishing it up, we are at the Demons tier, where we're starting off with Diamond Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, come on. If you know how overpowered it is to play in the post, there's literally no better card than the 325-pound Shaquille O'Neal. Like, that dude is a demon. If you haven't yet, try out a good, seriously, I mean, the story of this list is basically try out good post guys, because it's just absolute money. If a play's breaking down, you don't really know what to do, the best option is work somebody in the post and see what kind of defense they have down there. And Shaq is amazing at it. The drop step is crazy. His post hook game is amazing. The ability to set damn screens is absolutely wild, and he's just an amazing card in general. Shaq, top tier, at least in my book. Next up is the man Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I recently went against somebody in a gameplay for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the dude, I'm pretty sure, went like 9 for 9 before finally missing on his 10th shot of the game. Was getting every rebound. His screens were so hard to work against because he literally was bothering everybody. Like, Kareem's a damn demon, dude. Like, Kareem is a damn demon. Super fun card. The defense is great. The rebounding is amazing. Even as a bit of a midi with a really nice jumper, just all around is a super solid card. Next up is the glitch Dikembe Mutombo. Obviously, yeah, you get everything when it comes to defense, post game, and that sort of stuff. But then he also has the ability to stretch it out at least a little bit. Now, the one thing you'll notice with Dikembe Mutombo is the fact that his jumper is pretty damn trash. So you're really not going to be getting as open as you may think you will, because you just can't get it off in time to not be contested. So that's definitely a negative to think about. But the defense and that sort of stuff that Dikembe brings, and just the fact that you have to guard him out there, I think adds a pretty good element to your game. And I mean, there's no doubt that he's up there in the top centers. Next up is the man, the myth, the legend, Wilt Chamberlain. Obviously, nobody really wants to go through that unlimited grind to get Wilt, but if you do, yeah. You're basically another version of Kareem, just without the midi, which is still a damn good card. He's going to be rebounding, he's going to be playing the post, going to be playing the defense. He's just going to be all around great. And last but not least is Brad Daughtry, who actually can be a really good center. You badge this guy out, you give him a good three-point shoot, you give him a good coach boost, and a guy with floor general, and Brad Daughtry is going to be spraying it out from the three-point line. Kind of crazy. Still has a post game, still can play make pretty well, which is kind of crazy. I'm going to be a little bit slow, but I think all around pretty fun. Just the potential that this Brad Daughtry really can be like a top 3 center if you really play it correctly. I don't know. It's just, it's fun to me. So, you know, I want to throw him up there into the Demons here, just to give some love to Brad Daughtry, because I don't know too many people that are out there running with him. So, you know, there's that. So that's the end of the tier list that we have right here. Hit the like button if you guys did enjoy. Again, I keep doing this every single tier list. I'm just going to drop it like this. If you want to check out the tier list, this is just for people that are trying to skip to the end of the video and find it. Please just watch the video, learn the explanation, things like that. But, you know, what can you do? Again, if you did enjoy, hit the like button down below. If there's any guys that you think I should move up or move down, let me know those down in the comment section below. If there's anybody that I missed out and you think I should have added to the list because you want to see where they were, again, let me know that down in the comment section below. If you guys want to check out the point guards, small forwards, shooting guards, or power forwards, that will be linked in the description down below. And make sure you guys check out the sponsor. Subscribe if you're new. On the road to 15K. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Damn, that was a long outro, and I'll see you in the next video.